The Lord speaks to Sarah.
Yeah.
At this time next year you shall have a son.
Yeah.
The Lord speaks here to Rebekah. 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. One shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger.
Welcome to Chinook Podcast. Here we are working and we're hoping and we're praying for the day when the wind of the Holy Spirit will sweep across Western Canada, will sweep across Canada and thaw the frozen hearts and the frozen wasteland of our nation and make it alive to the word of the Lord. Anyway, I'm Nathan Zeckfeld. I'm a pastor here in Christ Covenant Church of Grand Prairie, and I'm here with Jamie Souls, who's a musician here, and I'm here with Brad Donovan, who works in the oil industry. Mm-hmm. We're all leading Christ Covenant Church together, and we're thankful for the work that God's doing up here. And anyway, let's kick it off with a couple book recommendations from Brad and Jamie.
All right. I have in my hand a book that I read quite profitably about 10 years ago. This is by Rich Lusk, and it is called Pedo-Faith, a primer on the mystery of infant salvation and a handbook for covenant parents. Can little kids have faith? That's really the question that he's dealing with, and he brings up numerous scriptural examples of, for instance, John the Baptist in his mother's womb, recognizing the barely formed Jesus and leaping for joy in his mother's womb. There's clearly things that God does, and part of the question is that normative? Rich Lusk argues that it is the norm, that we are to expect that the faith that God has given us, he gives both to us and to our children. Mm-hmm. And so we should expect to see this even when they're little. Anyways, I would commend to you the book Pedo-Faith by Rich Lusk. It came from Athanasius Press.
Excellent.
I have that book on my shelf, but I haven't started it yet, which is a bad thing.
Do you even have Pedo-Faith then? Do you even and I promise to mock poor Nathan for not having a book recommendation of his own. Practically heathen.
Mock.
Oh, boy.
All right, so for my book recommendation, it's not exactly a book. It's a play.
A play.
A play. Hamlet. If you're not conversant with Shakespeare, are you even a man? Now, Hamlet's...
Agreed.
Yeah. Hamlet's the play where you get the to be or not to be, that is the question speech. That's from Act 3. Fantastic, speech. But there's a lot of great poetry in here. It's there's some great jokes. There's some just magnificent expressions. And it's a good story. It's an interesting story in my way of thinking because Hamlet has the basic story is that Hamlet's dad is the king of Denmark, dies, his mother marries his uncle, who now becomes king, and Hamlet's sitting there like, well, that was awfully quick, right? There's only been a month since dad died, and now mom's remarried. This is kind of smelling fishy, and he's of course grieving the loss of his father, and then he receives a visit from this spirit claiming to be his father, telling him that, no, I was actually murdered. And so Hamlet spends the rest of the play trying to figure out if indeed this spirit spoke truly or lied. Mm-hmm. And then by the end, pretty much everybody dies. It's great fun. It's high drama, excellent poetry. I recommend it to you.
And here's my book recommendation.
Oh, he's got one.
If you want to understand Shakespearean stories and literature more, there's a book by Peter Lightheart called Brightest Heaven of Invention. And in that book, he explains a number of different plays. And it's actually a really good way into understanding Shakespeare better.
Language historians say that Shakespeare added about 25 to 30% to the English language that wasn't there before.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I've heard that. Deeply influential. Yeah, I I love Shakespeare, but Hamlet is one of my favorites. It's up there with Coriolanus in my affections.
Hamlet.
Hamlet.
That sounds like a small pig. Hamlet.
A hamlet or a small town.
Yes. Okay.
So today we are returning to the book of Genesis.
That we are.
We're returning to the middle of the beginning.
Yes, we're in the middle of the beginning. We are in chapter 25 of Genesis.
Verse 19.
And we are taking up with the birth of Esau and Jacob. And this story is right full of things that God uses to show forth his glories, that he uses to teach his people how to walk faithfully in tough situations. This section, and especially this character of Jacob, he's a towering character in the Bible. Mm-hmm. You know, Abraham is a towering character. Jacob at least matches him, and probably more.
Yeah.
You know, his name that God gives him of Israel. Israel gets mentioned twice as many as any other name used in the Bible. And Jacob is second. Jacob gets used probably 12 or 1,300 times his name is mentioned in the scriptures. So this is a foundational, deep story. And we want to keep the broader picture in mind. This is one of those places in Genesis where it's easy to get bogged down in the details and not to see what it is that God is shooting for. What is God trying to show us? What is he teaching us by giving us these stories?
And I think one of the places we can drive the bus is to Romans 9, where Paul is talking about the failure of Israel to keep the law and the inclusion of the Gentiles into the church, the new thing. And he says in verse 13, as it is written, Jacob I loved, but Esau I hated. So we're talking about the second-born receiving the promise and the firstborn not.
Yeah. Which is one of God's great devices in Genesis that happens again and again, and later.
Yeah, and this is the church and her relationship to Old Covenant Israel. And this is Paul's argument in Romans, in that part of Romans. So he's drawing that from here. So for Paul, Jacob and Esau and their conflict is a type, a figure. It's to teach us of where we are with Christ.
So what we see in Genesis is we see God's self-revelation. He's revealing himself in history. He reveals himself to Abraham. He reveals himself to Isaac and to Jacob. But Genesis 12, verse 1 to 3 makes very clear, just kind of jumping onto Brad's point, Genesis 12, verse 1 to 3 makes very clear that the point of God's self-revelation to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob is so that through the seed of Abraham, all the nations of the earth would be blessed.
Yes.
So that God will eventually reach the entire world with his knowledge.
Yes, and there's a bunch of things in the stories that we'll encounter in this section of the Bible that teach just that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so you see constant interactions with unbelieving peoples who come to a greater knowledge of God.
Yeah.
You do. And
Or who are hindered in such.
yeah, like
That's right, yeah.
In Shechem.
yes,
Yeah, 'cause-
that's one place we're going to have to go. Yes.
Yeah, we have to get there.
Yeah, because
Chapter
not only does God bless the nations, he also curses those who curse his chosen people.
Yes.
This is true.
Yeah, anyway.
Now, the whole story of Jacob and Esau begins with a barren woman.
And isn't that a familiar theme?
Yes.
Haven't we seen this before?
And won't we see this again?
Oh, quite.
We have seen this before. Sarah.
Yes.
Sarah is the
matriarch.
the matriarch of barren women. How do you become a matriarch of barren women if you're barren?
Yeah. And
Well,
need-
because it's by God's grace,
By God's
obviously.
grace,
That's
yeah.
what happens.
Yeah, so it says we're in chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord granted his prayer, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived. and the children struggled together within her.
So they are already
Twins.
fighting in the womb.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This warfare began early.
Okay. It's useful, I think, to make sure we see where we are timeline-wise. It says that Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah.
Yep.
Remember, the servant went off to Paddan Aram, went and found Rebekah. It was a wonderful story that happened in chapter 24, and how Rebekah, like Abraham, is just ready to rise and go when God comes. So this is a really faithful gal, Rebekah, but she comes and marries Isaac when Isaac is 40. And we're told that the time before she had children was 20 years. Isaac prayed to the Lord for his wife because she was barren. So 20 years later, Isaac's 60. That's a useful thing to keep in mind. Rebekah is 20 years older than she was when she arrived.
As happens over 20
And
years.
she arrived and married.
Yes.
So she's probably, I don't know, we don't know exactly how old she was when these things started out, but she's probably upper 30s. Or maybe more, maybe 40-ish.
Yep.
By the time she bears these two.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and here you also, I think you see, so Rebekah, her immediate obedience to the will of the Lord in going to Isaac and marrying Isaac. But here again, you see the closeness of Rebekah's relationship to the Lord in that she prays and the Lord opens her womb. And then the Lord reveals to her and speaks to her in a dream what's going to happen. So you see a very, very much a closeness between Rebekah and God.
Yeah. She experiences the warfare of her children within her. And she says, if it is thus, why is this happening to me? So she went to inquire of the Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
But please notice also, it wasn't just her.
Right.
Isaac did.
Yeah.
21.
Oh,
And Isaac
interesting.
prayed
Yeah,
to the
there you
Lord
go.
for his wife.
Yeah.
Because she was barren, and the Lord granted his prayer.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
So they're both approaching God.
Yes, which this is an interesting development. Isaac, of course, being the son of Abraham,
Yes.
Abraham never did this. Abraham never did seek out Yahweh and ask Yahweh questions. Yahweh would appear to Abram,
Yeah.
and he'd have a conversation, and Abram would do what Yahweh said. But this is an advance. This is something that shows a progressive nearness that God is seeking to develop with his people, in that Isaac actually approaches him
Right.
to pray,
And so does his wife.
and so does his wife.
This is a good development.
Yes.
So men, you and your wife, pray.
There you go. Here's a good example for you.
Yeah.
Yes. Approach the Lord in prayer. And then the Lord speaks to her. And I find this interesting, right? The Lord speaks to Sarah.
Yeah.
At this time next year you shall have a son.
Yeah.
The Lord speaks here to Rebekah. 2 nations are in your womb, and 2 peoples from within you shall be divided. One shall be stronger than the other, and the older shall serve the younger. You've got Hannah later approaches the Lord about a similar thing. And then you've got
Mary.
Mary.
Remember Hagar too.
Yep. Hagar
Hagar
as
before,
well.
where the Lord came and spoke to her.
Yep.
The Lord. This is something that is a teaser, but funny to me. It's really clear in Genesis that the Lord loved Sarah right to death. He just loved her.
Yep.
He thought very, very highly of Sarah. But there's only one time we're ever shown in Genesis where God speaks to Sarah.
Yep.
Once. And that is to say, oh, but you did laugh.
Yeah.
That's the only time that God says a word to Sarah. All of Sarah's interactions with God are mediated through Abram,
Except for that.
except for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yet, here's Hagar
Yeah.
who goes out of the camp, and the Lord comes and has this great long conversation with Hagar that he never had with Sarah.
Yeah. So we've got this the older shall serve the younger business. And then we have the birth of the boys. The first comes out red, all his body like a hairy cloak. So they named him Esau. Yeah, he was a red and hairy man.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Jacob later on is able to fool his father by wearing a goat skin.
He must have been one hairy.
He must have been some kind of furry guy.
Like, have you ever held a goat?
Yes.
Yes, I've held a goat. I mean, I had to carry a goat. And they're very hairy.
Yes.
And they're not at all hairy like people. Well, except for Esau.
Yeah.
This dude was hairy.
Okay. So there's several things in here that the scriptures develop later that are going on. Jacob comes out holding on to his brother's heel.
He was leg locking him. It's jujitsu.
It was jujitsu.
We see Jacob later wrestling with God. So,
So we get the picture of Jacob as a wrestler.
yeah.
And that's something that develops and develops and develops. He's kind of the preeminent wrestler.
Yeah.
And for what is he wrestling? Well, on the broad scale, he's wrestling to see the promises of God come to pass.
Yeah.
That's what he's shooting for.
Yeah, he wrestles with Esau, not just here, but also later when we get to the birthright.
Yes.
And when we get to the goat skin story.
Yeah.
But he also wrestles with Laban.
Yeah.
He wrestles with God.
He wrestles with Isaac for a long time.
He does. He wrestles with Abimelech. He wrestles.
So my question here then is, we talked a little bit about paedofaith, the book that you mentioned. Is this an expression of paedofaith when Jacob comes out holding on to the heel of Esau?
I think an argument could be made.
Probably. I don't remember if he actually addresses that one in there. That seems likely to me that there's some kind of connection.
Yeah, and I think that we can read that connection back into there from Jacob's later biography.
Right.
He's already a wrestler as an infant, which is a sign and expression of his faith.
Yes, and they were wrestling in the womb.
Yep.
We're pretty much told that they struggled together in the womb.
I bet you Esau was just trying to get out first because he was sick and tired of being choked out. Get me out of here.
That's funny.
This kid's tough. So, and then we get this comment at the end of verse 27, where when the boys grew up, Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field.
Yes.
And Jacob was a quiet man, dwelling in tents. Now, I've heard a lot of guys say that should be translated more like a perfect man.
That is one of that's what Strong's Concordance does.
Yeah, Strong's definitely goes with the perfect man.
Yes.
Reading, which I find interesting. So Jacob is being described as a perfect man. So what does that mean? That means he's amiable, capable, competent.
Yeah, there's all kinds of really good characteristics that are wound up in that word.
Yeah.
As to the description of Jacob. Now, this is really important to the grand story. This is the point at which the narrator of Genesis, who's telling the story, is describing Jacob.
Yep.
Okay? We tend, if we just give a surface reading through this passage, we tend to come down hard on Jacob, and we say, oh, he's a cheater, oh, he's a conniver, oh, he's blah, blah, blah. Not what God said about him.
Yep.
That is what Esau said about him.
Yes.
That is what Isaac, when he was found out in his dirty trick, said about him.
Yeah.
But it's not what God says about him. Jacob here... my ESV, I'm pretty, I'm kind of unhappy with my ESV translation just here in translating this as a quiet man, because you get the idea that Jacob is this little, he's a mousy kind of mama's boy, he'd rather stay at home.
But a good grappler.
But he was a wrestler.
But those two things don't go together.
See, they don't go together.
He fought with the Lord till morning, which is pretty tough.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, a mousy, tent dweller. That just doesn't.
A bit of a girly boy.
Yeah.
That's the idea you get about him.
You sort of get that idea from the ESV, which doesn't do Jacob justice. Esau, on the other hand, Esau grows up to be a skillful hunter. Now, when you read this, what you need to do is you need to think back what has been revealed before.
Yes.
Who's a skillful hunter before this?
The other time that this phrase is used is referring to a fellow named Nimrod.
Nimrod at the Tower of Babel.
And he was a righteous, upstanding fellow, wasn't he?
No. And then he's a man of the field. He's described as a man of the field.
Right.
We hear about a man in a field earlier.
Cain.
Rising up and killing his brother.
Yes.
Cain. So we get right at the start when we're dealing with descriptions of these two. Esau, over the course of the narrative here, Esau is going to be a picture of every bad guy that we've seen thus far. And it's all going to be wrapped up in him.
Yep.
Okay? And so Jacob, if you have this vision of Jacob that he's this soft guy, no. Jacob is the guy who looks after the considerable holdings of Abraham and Isaac.
Yep.
He's the guy running the show. Esau's on the quad out hunting all the time. Esau's out quadding all the time. He can't be bothered to look after things on the ground in the camp. That's what Jacob does. Jacob looks after everything.
He's looking after the business. And the other thing, too, about Esau is later we get to Esau and his wives.
Yeah.
And it's his parents were displeased with his wife selection. And so then he doubled down on that and went and found even more obnoxious wives. Right? Whereas Jacob is the faithful man who goes back to Paddan Aram.
And he waits until God delivers something into his hand.
Yes. Whereas Esau's like, yeah.
So I want to make a quick point about Brad said that it could also be translated as blameless. I was looking at my Hebrew Bible here, and the word is ish tam, which can be translated quiet man, but the more common translation of tam is blameless or perfect. So you frequently see that word used in Job, so that man was blameless. Right. He was a blameless and an upright man. In the Psalms, it's used again to say, mark the blameless in Psalm 37, verse 7. So I think it's actually quite likely that it could just simply be referring to him as a very godly, blameless man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm certain that's what's going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
In this story, because the story of Jacob as a conniver, as a cheater, does not fit what we read here.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
As kind of like the classic example of a beta male. I don't think that's how Scripture is trying to depict him.
Yeah, we at least in the North American context, in evangelicalism, I think we've picked up some bad interpretations of Scripture. We need to
go back to the Hebrew.
Yeah, go back to the Hebrew and just get back to the text. Read the Bible.
The evangelical and reformed look at Jacob
With suspicion.
believes Esau right down the line. Esau says, "Oh, he treated me," and the reformed and the evangelical says, "Yeah, see, he was a cheater."
Yeah.
Well, we're not supposed to be getting our understanding of who somebody is from the bad guy.
Yeah, and this is an important point in modern cultural fights.
Yeah.
We are often and routinely accused of a variety of things, moral failings, crimes, whatever, and our accusers don't have the right to define for us those things.
Yes.
Right. Remember, when your accusers speak, they are not necessarily speaking the truth.
Yes. Yeah, because the accusers, that points to the accuser, whom we know as the father of lies.
Yes.
Right?
So then so now we get to the stew.
The stew.
This must have been a good stew.
Well,
It's a red stew.
Okay.
So it's got probably beef in it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it's got in it.
Yeah.
Lentils. There's it says something about beans later on, doesn't it?
Yeah. Lentil stew.
Lentil stew.
He got bread and lentil stew. And, I've had some good stews and some good bread after a hard day's work. Seems to me that, this must have been a really, really good meal.
Right.
But,
yeah.
But why is Esau willing to sell his birthright for stew?
That's one of the big questions. Why is he so uncaring
Yeah.
about this
Important thing.
important thing?
I'm just wondering if, what, judging from his later action as well, right, with his wives, it seems to me that he really does despise his parents in some way.
Yes.
He despises the promise of God.
Yeah. There's something basic about both of these characters that the Lord wants us to learn from and to see the examples given and to copy Jacob in this.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that I perceive. Esau is a radically present-oriented man.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He
Give me food, I'm about to die.
Yes, give me food, I'm about to die. Don't take his side. Don't agree with him that he's on the verge of death here and that Jacob is being chintzy and so forth. Not so. Esau comes in from the field and he's exhausted and he comes in and he finds Jacob. Think about this. How many hundreds of tents must there be in this huge camp of people? There are lots and lots of people here.
Yep.
Okay? Abraham had 318 trained men born in his house. He's not alone. These people are not operating alone. There's a whole huge community around them.
Yeah.
If Esau comes in from the field and he's starving,
There's food everywhere.
there's food everywhere. And which of those tents all around are going to refuse the crown prince a meal?
Yeah, none of them.
Yeah.
None of them are.
So is he really starving?
So is he really starving? No, he's not really starving. But he comes to this, and the Lord shows us this story in order to show us a man who's radically self-oriented, who's radically now-oriented. He wants what he wants, and he wants it now.
And has a carelessness towards the promise.
Yes.
Yep.
Jacob sees the promise and believes it, and the promise is something that is far off. Jacob is future-oriented
Yeah.
in his thinking.
Yeah, because the birthright, it's not something he's going to enjoy in its fullness yet.
Right.
For many, many
It's going to take a
decades.
long, long time, but he's thinking forward.
Yeah.
So Jacob is future-oriented. Esau is present-oriented.
Yeah.
There's deep, deep lessons in there.
Yes. Especially for
us
young men.
now.
Well, and usually being future oriented is an expression of faith in Scripture, especially if you look at Hebrews 11.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And
Where we defer our satisfaction
yes.
for later.
Yeah. And this is good counsel for young men.
Yes, it is.
Defer satisfaction for later, and righteous satisfaction. Because it says here that Esau is despising his birthright. How many young men do you know who despise their spiritual birthright, their inheritance that they have in the faith, and wander off chasing, fleeting satisfaction of
Chasing
desire.
that which will please them now.
Yeah, that which will please them now, but only for a short while. So so many people.
well, how many churches despise their birthright in the last 3 or 4 years?
Yeah. Well,
Anyway.
and that's been going on for a while. Now, so moving on.
Okay, how old do you think they were when this happened?
Oh, they would have. Well, if Jacob's cooking, they'd have to be at least teenagers.
Well, it says when the boys grew up.
Yeah, so they're men.
It says they're men. And so I think they're young men still. I don't think they're terribly old in this section. And part of what makes me think that is that in the following story, Isaac takes the whole camp and moves them down to Gerar, down in Philistia, and they spend quite a lot of time down there.
Yeah, let's look at that. So we've got a famine in the land. Now we have famines in the land fairly regularly. So besides the former famine, so this is a separate famine.
Yes.
And Isaac goes to Gerar to Abimelech, king of the Philistines.
Which is the same Abimelech as Abraham went to in Genesis 20, right?
I think that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, that's a title. I'm pretty sure it is because you find Abimelech, which means in the Hebrew anyway, it means my father is king. That's what it means.
So it's more like the Abimelech.
Yeah, it's like the Abimelech.
It'd be like Pharaoh.
And his army commander is the Phicol.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
Because Phicol also shows up as the army commander of the Philistines in number more than once.
Yeah. So he's going down to the Philistines, and the Lord appears to him in a dream, I think. Well, he appears to him, and he says, "Don't go down to Egypt. Dwell in the land which I tell you, sojourn in this land, and I will be with you and bless you." And he gives him the promise, the same promise he gave to Abram. But he says, "Don't go down to Egypt, stay here." And so Isaac does. He settles in Gerar.
Isaac is the transitional man between Abraham and Jacob. He's got deep themes going on in his world that are deep and lasting too, that we can learn from. An interesting thing is that Isaac never leaves the promised land.
Yeah.
He lives to be 180 years old. He's not supposed to go off to Paddan Aram to get himself a wife. Abraham sent a servant to go do that. He's not supposed to go down to Egypt.
Yep.
He's a land guy. He's an in the land guy.
Yeah. And another interesting thing is we have this verse 7, when the men of the place asked him about his wife. Interesting. The men of the place are like, "Hey, who's that hot chick?" And he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say my wife, lest the men of the place should kill me because of Rebekah, because she was attractive in appearance. So, same thing's happening
Rebekah is
as with his father.
Rebekah's like Sarah in this. She's in her 60s.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. 60s, 70s,
Maybe.
maybe.
She's 60. She'd be 80 at least when Esau took wives.
Yeah.
She'd be 80 by then. And that happens at the tail end of this stay in Gerar.
Yeah, when Esau was 40 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, like Sarah, she's this older lady and she's beautiful.
Yes. To the point where the men of the place are like, "Who's that?" And Isaac is like, "Oh, we're doing this again, are we?" It's interesting, and it says in verse 8, when he had been there a long time. So this is quite a while into their stay in Gerar. Abimelech looks out of a window. So he's in a building, looks out of a window, and he sees Isaac laughing with Rebekah, his wife. Laughing. Well, that might be a euphemism. Not sure. But
He's Isaacing.
He's Isaacing. He's supposed to laugh. But he's with his wife out there somewhere. And Abimelech's like, "Wait a minute. That's the behavior of a husband with his wife. Whatever it was they were doing. Then he calls Isaac. He's like, "What are you doing?" And Isaac said, "Well, because I thought lest I die because of her." And then Abimelech, "What is this you have done to us? One of the people might have easily lain with your wife, and you would have brought guilt on us."
Yes.
It's very interesting that this Abimelech understands that would bring guilt. So Abimelech warns all the people, "Whoever touches this man or his wife shall be surely put to death." So it's almost as if Abimelech in this story, he's basically threatening his people, "Don't touch this man or his wife," like God had done with the previous Abimelech.
Yes, he's learned from that Abram's story or this Abimelech
Yeah. If it's not the same,
watched that
Abimelech,
happen, and he's learned.
he's learned. Yeah.
So he doesn't actually take Rebecca, does he?
no,
He doesn't take her
no, it doesn't say
like
that
the
he does.
previous one took Sarah.
Yeah, it doesn't say that he did. But yeah. So,
But again, here's another thing that shows up again and again and again: how the unrighteous accuse
yeah, what
the
have you done?
righteous. That happens again and again.
Yep.
You know, if that was really foolish of you, some guy might have lain with your wife, and then we would have been guilty.
Yeah. Yeah. How dare you?
Yeah, like you wouldn't be guilty if you just laid with his sister.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Well,
again, the accusations of the unrighteous they ought not sway you.
yes,
Now in verse 12, this is interesting. This is interesting. And Isaac sowed in that land and reaped in the same year 100-fold. Okay, first off, Isaac is planting a crop.
yeah.
Abram never did that.
See, Isaac's very rooted to the land. isn't
Very. He is. He's very rooted.
he grows crops and he digs wells.
We're coming to the wells. Those are very interesting. And planting a crop, I mean, that's going to be like barley. That's going to be wheat. That's going to be some cereal, some grain. And he reaped 100-fold.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, your average. I was reading somewhere that in 14th century England, before the Black Death, your average yield was about 4 to 1.
So 1 seed sown, 4 seeds back.
Yeah, exactly. So 4 to 1
Wow.
in medieval England.
No wonder they had a plague.
Yeah, and I've heard some. I'm not sure about modern farming in North America. I think depending on the crop and the area, it fluctuates between like a 10 to 1 or a 12 to 1, up to 16 in certain areas. I think. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a professional.
Yeah.
But I read that somewhere. 100 to 1 is incredible.
100 to 1 is incredible.
That's miraculous.
Yeah.
And the Lord blessed him, and the man became rich, and he gained more and more until he became very wealthy. So he's taken what his father gave him, which was substantial. And he's increased it 100-fold.
He's multiplied it.
Yes.
Hugely.
Hugely.
So he's the good servant who does not bury his talent.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaac is a good servant that does not bury him. That's right.
It's true.
Now, he goes around and we hear an interesting thing in this story. Abraham had gone around and dug wells in a number of different places. You think about the act of digging a well and what that does for the local economy,
Yeah.
right? If it supplies you with water from below rather than having to wait for it from above, it supplies you with a consistent source of water that enables things to flourish around you.
Yep. Crops and animals and people.
And yet the Philistines had been filling in Abraham's wells.
Yeah. Why would they destroy production?
Because they didn't have the well-being of their people in mind. They had their religious ideology in mind. That's why. There was something that they found abhorrent about tracking with Abram or with Abraham, him and his God that he worships, that they didn't want. There was something that they were rejecting at that point.
Yeah, they're rejecting something here.
Yeah.
Well, and you almost see that nowadays in the culture that we're living in. Christianity dug so many wells, metaphorically speaking, in North American culture.
Yeah.
And we're living in a time where people like Justin Trudeau are filling in those wells.
Yeah.
They're trying to, at least.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're wells,
Yeah, we are.
right?
Yeah.
Out of you will flow
Living water.
rivers of living water, Jesus said, right?
Yeah. So the stopping up of these wells, this is a particularly egregious act, and it comes to a head in verse 16 where Abimelech says to Isaac, "Go away from us, for you are much mightier than we."
Yes.
Now, normally, when you're in a position like that, you don't say to your enemy, "You are stronger than I am."
Yeah.
go away. Usually you try and pretend that you're stronger than they are to scare them away.
That happened later in Exodus too.
It did, yeah. So there's this acknowledgement, this kind of backhanded acknowledgement from Abimelech that the Lord has made Isaac mightier than Abimelech. But Isaac, it says, departed from there and encamped in the valley of Gerar and settled there. So he moved up the valley and dug wells. He redug his father's wells.
Yeah. He didn't. Isaac was never looking for a fight in the land. He was a peaceful man. He was in the land, not allowed by the Lord to go out of the land. This is the promised land. You're the son of promise. This is where you belong, and flourishing there. Right when he reaps 100-fold off of his crop. That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And he's flourishing and God is blessing him here in the land. And so he's not gaining ground by stripping others of their land or stripping others of their property.
Yeah.
They come and dispute over it.
Yeah.
And so he says, okay, all right, you can have it. He goes over here. It's like Abraham and Lot.
Yeah.
Right. Abraham says, "Well, let's not dispute. You pick.
Yeah.
Right. And
So he's a pretty chill guy then.
he is a pretty chill guy.
Yep.
Isaac has a great lot in the scripture to commend him, character wise.
Yep.
He's got a great deep defect.
Yep. Which,
But
we
there's
talk about
so
later.
much there's so much that goes on
Yeah.
that is really, really good.
There seems to be a blindness towards his sons.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a blindness, toward both of them.
Yeah. But when it comes to building and planting and
Yeah,
And just
Being in the
ordinary
land.
faithfulness.
yeah,
Yes.
he's definitely got a lot going on here because he goes from there up to Beersheba, so he finally just we're going to moves up into the hill country, and the Lord appears to him the same night that he goes there. So when he gets to Beersheba, the Lord appears to him, and he says, "I will bless you and multiply your offspring for my servant Abram's sake." So what does Isaac do? Builds an altar,
Yep.
just like Dad.
yeah, just like Dad.
Just
Abraham
like
was
Dad.
an altar builder.
Yeah.
He'd build an altar as a center for worship, and he'd call people to worship Yahweh.
And he pitched his tent there, and what did he get his servants to do? Dig a well.
Yeah,
This is now like multiple wells.
yes. There's a bunch of wells in here, and the Philistines come to him again. Right, Abimelech comes again in verse 26.
Yes. With Phicol and Ahuzath?
Ahuzath, who's advisor. Who's that?
Ahuzath.
Ahuzath.
Who's that?
So this is a Philistine from Tennessee. Ahuzath. So and then Isaac's like, okay, why are you here, seeing that you hate me and have sent me away from you? Right? Well, like, what are you chased me out of Gerar
What are you doing here?
and filled in my dad's well.
Well, we need to
on,
make
man.
a covenant with you.
Yes.
He says, we need to have an agreement where you're not going to harm us
Yep.
and we won't harm you.
Because we see plainly that the Lord has been with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like how plain and honest this Abimelech guy is.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the Lord has been with you. But make a covenant so that you don't harm us. And then that you will do us no harm, just as we have not touched you. Okay, that's not entirely true. They drove them out of Gerar.
Yeah, they did leave him with some loopholes there, didn't
Yeah.
they?
It's kind of a disingenuous statement.
Yes, it is.
It kind of I think that statement might actually come back to bite the Philistines when Joshua re-enters the land. But
But again, you see Isaac the peacemaker here.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. He made them a feast, right? They
Yeah.
ate and
He
drank.
fed them.
Yeah.
Hospitality.
Oh, yeah, and it's a feast. It's
Ancient
not
hospitality.
Yeah, he's not feeding these guys like, some granola. I mean, this is a feast. Just putting that out there. But then it's the next morning. They rise early and exchange oaths. So they rise in the morning. There's something about mornings and deliverances
Yeah.
that go together.
Yeah. And we'll see this happen again later.
Yeah.
We saw it with Abraham earlier.
We did, yeah. And we're going to see it with Jacob.
We're going to see it with Jacob at least a couple times.
And I think we see it also with Joshua.
Yeah.
And we see it most spectacularly with Jesus.
Yeah.
In his resurrection. In the morning.
And with Moses.
Yep.
See it there too.
We do. Oh, man, themes.
Yeah. Okay, so we get this what looks like a parenthetical sort of statement, but it's a pivot point back from Isaac back to Jacob, where it talks about Esau when he's 40 years old going and getting wives that are a grief to his parents.
2 Hittite girls.
Yeah.
Yeah, they made life bitter for Isaac and Rebekah.
Bitter.
Yeah, so if you're in the business of naming a baby girl in this season, Birai and Basemath are 2 names you should probably not pick.
Yeah, don't pick those.
I once tried the Basemath one, and I got told.
And Alyssa just didn't go for it.
No, my wife was like, no.
No.
So if you jump forward to Genesis 27, verse 46, then Rebekah said to Isaac, I loathe my life because of the Hittite woman.
Yes. Oh,
If Jacob marries one of the Hittite women like these, one of the women of the land, what good will my life be to me? That's a good mother.
Yeah.
And when she said, I loathe my life on account of these women, like these women made life miserable. And there's 2 of them.
They must have been nasty,
Yeah, they must have been.
ladies.
So nasty young ladies who Esau marries.
Mm-hmm.
He's 40 right here.
Yep.
Esau's 40. Jacob does not yet have a wife. Jacob's 42 because he's a twin,
age.
right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
So, but he doesn't have a wife. Esau's got 2.
He's twice the man you are, Jacob.
And so Jacob, part of his character that we're shown is that he's patient.
Yep.
That's one of the things that we learn from him. How do you faithfully wrestle toward the promises of God with people who are trying to sabotage you around you? How do you faithfully?
Yeah.
How do you wrestle?
Patiently.
Well, he's patient.
Yeah.
He's patient. So he doesn't get a wife. He doesn't look for one.
Yeah.
It may be that he's just altogether too busy because Isaac is going blind and Jacob is in charge of things around home.
Yep.
Maybe.
He's running
He
the
had an
business.
awful lot of business to tend to.
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't have time. Maybe.
Yeah.
I imagine
I can
Or
see
maybe
that.
he just didn't find any good girls.
or maybe he just didn't find any good
Those
girls.
Hittite women were just not his thing.
Because I think given Jacob's character, I think that probably mattered to him.
Oh, I think it
Like,
did
I think
too.
he did, yeah.
Especially if he saw how much those women harassed
Yeah.
and grieved his mother.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that to my mom.
Yeah, Jacob and his mother had a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah. So
he wanted to honor his mother.
He wanted to honor his mother. Okay,
Who
now
he married.
let us move into the. This story is such a pivotal point in reading Bible, and it's really easy to read Jacob in a bad light. Reading this story, this is the story that people usually point to and say, "Look what a stinking conniver is Jacob."
He deceived his
Look,
dad.
He's a trickster. Look, he's a trickster. All right. Let's offer you a different reading.
It was actually his mom who suggested.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
That was
His mom is the trickster.
no, Isaac is the trickster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's we
And this shows up deeply.
Yeah.
We've inverted everything in our reading of in the common reading of this story.
Because they're wrestling for the promise here again.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember this. There's a long game going on here.
Yeah.
It's not just individual happenings where we see Jacob and Esau, and there's an exchange of the birthright, and so we get to sit in moral judgment on these two and say, okay, well, with that event, this guy's right and this guy's wrong. It's not like that. It's not like that in the story. When Isaac was old and his eyes were so dim that he could not see, He called Esau, his older son, and said to him, "My son." And he answered, "Here I am." He said, "Behold, I am old. I do not know the day of my death. Now take your weapons, your quiver, and your bow, and go out to the field and hunt game for me, and prepare for me delicious food such as I love, and bring it to me, so that I may eat, that my soul may bless you before I die." We can discern how old they were when this happened. This is one of those things that is hidden in various different texts of the scripture, but I think it's really important to the story. Let me walk you through this. There's nothing right here in the text that shows their age, shows the boy's age at this time. Nothing right here. But there is things in other places. Here's my way there. Later in Genesis, you are going to find Jacob standing before Pharaoh. I think it's Genesis 45.
Yeah.
He comes and stands before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh asks him, "How old are you?" "Well, how old are you?" And Jacob says, "Well, the days of my years," he uses both days and years, "the days of my years are short, and they haven't attained to that of my fathers. I'm 130,
Yeah.
he says. Okay, he's 130 when he stands before Pharaoh.
Yep.
Joseph, we are told, was 30 years old when he was raised to the right hand of Pharaoh. He was 30 years old when that happened. He would have had 7 years of plenty. He would have been 37. He had 2 years of famine before the brothers came down.
Right.
He's 39.
Yeah.
When they finally discover, oh, this is Joseph, and they go back and they take their carts back to bring Jacob down to Egypt, Joseph is probably 40.
Right. So that
At the time when Isaac, or when he stands before Pharaoh, when Jacob stands before Pharaoh, Joseph is 40.
Right.
That means Joseph was born when Jacob was 90 years old.
Yes.
Okay, that's a peg that we can use.
Yeah.
Okay? Joseph, we know, was born sometime during that 20-year stay in Paddan Aram.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't born in the first 7 years.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been. He wasn't born in the second 6. He might, at the earliest possible, he might have been born in the 13th year of Jacob's stay in Paddan Aram.
Right. So that would that shaves another 13 years off of 90. So that's
77.
77.
And Jacob went down to Paddan Aram a week after this episode.
Yeah.
That means these twins at this time were 77 years old when this deception of Isaac took place.
Yeah.
Okay.
These aren't spring chickens.
Not spring chickens. These have been around for a long, long time now.
These are old chickens.
These are grown men wrestling for the promise.
And not just grown, but old grown.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, now let's consider this for a moment with regards to Isaac. We've seen in the chapter previous, Isaac has walked faithfully in many, many ways, but there's something wrong in his thinking with regards to that promise that God made to his wife.
We already see that earlier on because Rebekah loved Jacob and Isaac loved Esau.
Yes, we see that there's a love developed that's a particular sort of love for Isaac developed for Esau. And remember what we're told that he loved about him?
The delicious food.
The delicious food, that's something that happens tonight, that happens now. That's a present-oriented love, right? It's a falling into an Esau mindset where Isaac loves Esau for what he can provide right now. Bring me food, okay? But there's something going on with Isaac. Why is it? How is it that this faithful godly, upright man can set it in his heart not only that he's going to bless the son that God said would be the lesser,
Right.
but that he would actually try to disinherit the son that God said should inherit. That he would try to disinherit him completely.
Well, perhaps he's looking at his two sons and says, well, the one has two wives and the other has none.
Yeah.
That might be the case, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe, but it says also that those wives were a grief to Isaac too.
Yep. Yeah, they were.
Okay? I think something went on in Isaac that when he was young, I think there was something that happened that set his heart against this idea of the second inheriting. Even though he himself
Is the second. Yep.
and he inherited all this blessing and all this good, he inherited the promises that God gave to Abraham. I don't think he saw that as the ultimate good.
Right. He may not have had that in his heart.
See, I think that Isaac was affected by two substantial events in his childhood. The one being when he was 3 years old and then Big Brother all of a sudden had to leave.
No.
And when he asks, well, where's Big Brother Ishmael? Where is he? Well, God sent him away, and so your dad sent him away because your mom was unhappy with this. And I suspect that he loved Ishmael, little Isaac. He probably played with him.
Yep.
He was probably a really cool big brother to little Isaac. But all of a sudden he's gone, and Yahweh did that. Dad did it, yeah, but Yahweh did it. It was at Yahweh's instigation.
Right.
Isaac's 13 years old. Dad says, hey, let's go camping.
Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah, we covered this in the last episode. Yeah.
and they go up on the mountain. There's ways, like we don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know well the psychology of these guys. We can only speculate, but it seems sensible to me. That would have been a traumatic experience for Isaac.
Yeah.
They're up on the mountain. Where's the lamb? Oh, God will provide a lamb, my son. Old dad.
But in lieu of a lamb, you're it.
And was Isaac looking the other way when Abraham dropped a rope around his shoulders?
I don't know.
I don't know what happened. But anyways, he bound him. And I strongly suspect Isaac was protesting loudly.
Right, as one does.
As one just might. And over the loudness, somehow, Abraham hears this bleating.
Yeah.
Actually, he doesn't hear it. He hears the angel.
Yeah.
The angel speaks to him and says, Abram.
Yeah.
And Abram looks up he's got a knife in hand. He's ready to slay Isaac.
Right.
You're 13 years old, and your dad has got a knife ready to kill you.
Yeah.
And it's not just because he went crazy. It's because Yahweh's talking to him.
Yeah.
And telling him what's going on, what to do.
Right.
It could be that Isaac, as he grew into a man, began to develop the conviction that this business of the second born inheriting, that's a problem. And that's not going to happen in my house.
Yeah. And it's interesting, too, because the very first verse of 27, it says that Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see. Whenever we've got a character that's blind in the Bible, the question is always,
What sort of blind?
what sort of blindness is this? Because the physical blindness is usually indicative of a spiritual condition that corresponds to that. So like Eli,
Yeah.
fat and blind, right?
Yeah.
Now, we do get the twist on that when we get to the Gospels, and the disciples are asking Jesus about this man born blind who sinned, he or his parents. The question they're asking is a natural question based on a correct reading of this story.
Right.
Like, because they see a man who's blind, the disciples are like, where's the sin?
Where's the sin? Yeah.
And they're reading the story correctly. But then Jesus says, no, that's not what's going on in this case.
Yeah.
Right? This case is different than that. But their reading of the Old Testament stories is correct, which I find that very interesting.
Yeah.
That was what the disciples immediately went to.
Yeah, they had a typological reading of the Old Testament.
They did. And they understood Isaac and they understood Eli. They got it. They were like, yeah, those guys were blind because there was some funny business going on.
Yeah.
And in both Eli and Isaac's case, there's an appeal to the stomach.
Yeah.
You've got Isaac, who he's the delicious food such as I love.
Yeah.
And then Eli, his sons were stealing from the sacrifice
Yes.
and eating it.
Yeah.
And he is described as being fat.
So fat he could hardly get up.
Yeah, and having benefited directly from this eating.
Yeah.
So you've got a very similar description of character. So for some reason, as you said, we don't know exactly what Isaac's thinking.
Right.
But we do know that his eyes are dim so that he cannot see. This is an external condition indicative of an internal fault.
And his wife is probably looking at him and saying, well, no, that's sure true.
Yeah. And then, and it revolves around his appetite.
Yeah.
There's something about his appetite that that is at play here.
Yes. Okay. Let's consider this story just a bit. Rebekah was listening when Isaac spoke to his son Esau. When Esau went to the field to hunt game and bring it, Rebekah said to her son Jacob, I heard your father speak to your brother Esau. Bring me game and prepare for me delicious food, that I may eat it and bless you before the Lord before I die. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice as I command you. Go to the flock, bring me 2 good young goats, so that I may prepare from them delicious food for your father, such as he loves, and you shall bring it to your father to eat, so that he may bless you before he dies. But Jacob said to his mother, behold, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I'm a smooth man. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I'll seem to him to be mocking him. I'll bring a curse upon myself, and not a blessing. His mother said to him, let your curse be on me, my son. Only obey my voice, and go, bring them to me.
So she's in earnest about protecting the promise.
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
God spoke to her, right?
This is something we've got to keep in mind. People who measure Rebekah by her marriage, and they measure her by saying, "You're not supposed to deceive your husband."
Right.
You got to keep this in mind. Rebekah had her eye on the ball. Isaac was trying hard to disobey.
Yeah, Isaac's the one who's blind here.
Yes.
Not Rebekah.
Isaac's the one who's trying to set up the trick.
Yeah.
He thinks, or he has thought, he's been working towards this for a long, long time, that if I get it just right, I can pull off my trick, and Esau will inherit, and because he's firstborn, and not Jacob.
Yep. And
that seems to be the story.
Yeah, and then so Rebekah defending the promise. I think there's types of this throughout the scriptures. We've got the midwives in the beginning of Exodus.
Yeah.
Where they do the almost the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Where they're protecting the promise by means of deceiving a blind
leader,
right? The wicked Pharaoh. You've got deception involved in the story of Rahab.
Right.
She sends the spies the wrong. The guys chasing the spies. She sends them the wrong direction.
Yeah.
They went that way.
You've got it with JL.
JL,
here, have some milk. Just take comfort here. Yeah, go to sleep. Go ahead.
Go to sleep. Yeah.
Pound,
lie down. More wham. Yeah. So,
and then she's praised for it.
Very much
right?
so. You've also
Blessed, most blessed among women is Jael,
the wife of Heber.
The only thing that was the only other lady in the Bible.
Yes.
That word given to Mary.
Yeah.
Blessed
Mary.
are you among women.
Yeah.
was given to Jael.
Jael and Mary.
Jael and
should-
Mary, those two.
Yeah.
If we're going to be consistent with the Roman Catholics, then we should venerate both Jael and Mary.
But I don't think that they venerate Jael.
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be venerating Mary either.
It's true. Yeah, Mary's response to all that is probably like hands on hips, like a mother's disgust. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. Or like what she said at the wedding at Cana, to the servants.
Yes.
She points at Jesus. Do whatever he tells you.
Do whatever he tells you.
Yeah. Well, guess what he didn't tell him? Yeah, he didn't say it. Yeah. Anyway, so we also get this protection of the promise. You see it also typified in Revelation.
Okay.
The woman and the child fleeing into the wilderness.
Yeah.
The woman being the mother.
Yeah.
The child. So you've got
She's doing everything to protect that child.
yes.
So what Rebecca is doing is holy war.
Yes.
What Rebecca is doing is, it is. It's holy war. She's and the war goes right back to Genesis.
Yep.
The beginning of Genesis. The antithesis that's set between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman.
So Rebecca knows that it's through Jacob that the seed will come who will crush the head of the serpent.
Yes.
Yeah. She knows that the promise comes through that son, not the
Yes.
other. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's got her eyes on that promise. She wants to see that come to pass. But I'm thinking about Rebecca. I'm thinking about this woman. If you're a mom, Brad, you think about Alyssa.
Well, I'm not a mom.
A bit.
Right. Yeah. My wife.
Think about Alyssa.
Yeah.
And she's got Liam, and she's got Walter.
Yep.
And she doesn't want one's good and the other's bad.
No, that's true. Yeah.
No, she wants to look out for both these boys. She wants the best that God will bring, not just for one, but for both.
Yeah.
Think about Rebecca's situation in this story. She's upwards of 100 years old in this story. She's probably 117 here.
Yeah.
Something like that. She's up there.
Oh yeah.
Okay. But she wants both sons. She wants things to go well for both. Mm-hmm. She doesn't want Esau's downfall. She wants Esau to not take on something that's going to kill him or something that's going to kill the people of God through him. She doesn't want that. Mm-hmm. She does want also her husband. She's looking out for him.
Yep.
He is in rebellion against God on this really, really important point. Mm-hmm. And he's demonstrated over the years that he just won't listen.
Yep.
He won't listen. How do we change this guy's mind? And I'm sure she thought about this from every angle possible. And this was one of the angles possible. Well, maybe we'll have to trick him. Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Yep. But I mean, those Hebrew women have more strength. They pop out babies faster than we can get them. and those spies went that way into the hill country.
Yeah.
And come here and have a glass of milk. And then Esther, come to a banquet.
Yeah.
Come to a feast. Uh-huh. I mean, this deception seems to be the one of the great tools for the preservation of God's promise. And you see this also on the cross.
Yeah.
Where Paul writes that if the enemies of God had known what would happen,
if the rulers of this world had known what would happen, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory.
Yeah, so even the cross itself
was a deception.
It's a deceiving of Satan. He thought he won.
Mm-hmm.
And just looking at the relationship dynamics of this passage, I don't see it as an act of disrespect. Mm-hmm. Jacob didn't want to deceive his father.
No.
I don't think Rebecca did either. But she was like, either. We have to do what's right here.
Yeah.
We have to pursue the promise of God. Mm-hmm. We have to keep our eyes on this. Yeah. I've thought about this because Jacob, people say, what he really should have done, or what Rebecca should have done, is just marched the two of them in there and said and demanded of Isaac that he bless Jacob.
Right. She's probably done that.
Well, you think she hasn't done that already? She's done that probably 100 times, and he's rebuffed her again and again and again. He rebuffs her.
Yeah.
Tricking is not the first option.
This is true. But in this case, it's the final option.
It was the final option. It was the one that actually worked.
And it was the option that secured the blessing.
It was,
It was. And this is something I find interesting too, is that, right, we get into the actual scene where Jacob is going in and he's wearing goat skin.
Yeah.
And Isaac's like, I don't know, I think there's a trick at play here. And it's like, well,
But he can't see, right?
he can't see, but he's suspicious. Why is he what cause for suspicion should he have? Oh, but maybe he knows that he's doing something wrong.
I think that's what's going on.
I think that he knows right. Well, he's got a bit of a guilty conscience here. He knows that he's trying to do something God said
Yes.
to do the opposite. So then, please come near so that I can feel you. I can verify
Yes.
that I've got Esau here, and he feels him. Oh, that's you sound like your brother, but you feel like you sound like you sound like Jacob, but you feel like Esau. And then he blesses him.
Come near to me and kiss me, my son.
Come near to
Comes
me and
near and Isaac sniffs.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
suspicious.
He's
So-
very suspicious.
So if you're think about your senses and how they work.
Yeah.
What's your first sense that by which you verify things? What's your first
Sight.
one? Sight. Okay? Isaac didn't have any sight. God had taken it from him.
Yeah.
He didn't have sight. What's your second one?
Touch.
Hearing.
Hearing. Hearing's your second one because you can hear.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah,
you
you're
can
right.
get information from far away with your ears. Right? Touch is down the list, probably third.
Yeah. But then
You can be deceived by touch.
your smell and taste are associated with each other.
Yeah.
So those two kind of things go together, I think.
Yeah. But they're lesser senses.
Yeah.
They're not the
They're not giving you as much information.
right.
Yeah, about
you
the
know,
world around
if Isaac would have believed his ears in this story,
he games up.
the game would have been up for Jacob.
Yeah.
Right? But he didn't.
Yeah.
You know, I think Isaac was losing heart in his lie. I think that's what was going on.
I think so too, and I think proof of that is found in what happens when he discovers
Yes.
that he'd been tricked.
Yes. What does it say of him?
He basically doubles down on having given the blessing to the right son.
Okay, there's something that happens right in the story.
Yeah.
When Esau comes in, beginning of verse 33,
He trembled very violently.
Isaac trembled very violently.
He basically has a seizure.
What did God tell us that for? Who was it that then hunted game and brought it to me, and I ate it all before you came, and I've blessed him?
Yes, and he shall be blessed.
Isaac trembled violently.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was the point at which he realized that his gig was up.
Yeah.
That try as he might, he could not trick God Almighty.
Yep.
And God had found him out.
Yeah, and so
right then.
So then Isaac hears the words of his father. He cries out with an exceedingly great and bitter cry. So he's just yelling and raging. And he says to his father, "Bless me, even me also, O my father." But he said, "Your brother came deceitfully and has taken away your blessing."
Yes. And evangelical and reformed commentators get on there and they say, Isaac was right and Esau was right.
Yep.
No, they weren't right. They were not right. He did not come deceitfully, as it were.
Yeah.
But what he did, I think this was a shocking thing to Isaac.
Yep.
But he got shocked back into the right mindset.
Yeah, because he doesn't go back on his word. He doesn't try to.
Right.
He doesn't try to get an end run for Esau.
See, he could have
Yeah.
if he was really, if his heart was really in that lie. I mean, it's really hard for a righteous man. You know, if you're really continuing to try and walk with God, you know, a lie loses heart after a while.
Yep.
I think he must have lost heart in that lie.
Yep.
And I mean, he could have gone back and said, well, no, I was tricked. So I really am giving the blessing to Esau.
Yeah, but he doesn't do that.
Doesn't do it.
No. He
Doesn't do it.
He
Well,
says,
it is interesting that he does give a sort of blessing to Esau in verses 39 and 40.
yeah,
Away from the fatness of the earth.
shall your dwelling be, yeah, and away from the dew of heaven on high.
Right.
By your sword you shall live. So it's like, and he repeats the statement that God had made at his birth, you shall serve your brother.
Yeah.
That's what he says.
Yeah.
So, behold, I have made him lord over you, and all his brothers I have given to him for servants, and with grain and wine I have sustained him. What then can I do for you, my son?
Look what Isaac was intending to give to Esau.
Yeah, all of it.
All of it. He was intending to disinherit Jacob
Yeah.
entirely.
And instead, he disinherited Esau. But he again, comes to the realization that he's now actually in a place of obedience somehow.
And we know for certain there was a change of heart on Isaac's part right here.
Yeah.
We know there was, because it's not more than a week later that Rebecca says, "Oh, these Hittite women."
Yes.
When she goes through that thing, and she doesn't outright tell Isaac, "Okay, well, send Jacob away so he can go get a wife at Paddan Aram." She doesn't tell him this, but she
hints at it.
She hints at it, and he catches the hint.
Yeah, Isaac calls
so
Jacob.
that it's his idea, not hers.
Yeah, exactly. So in chapter 28, verse 1, Isaac called Jacob, blessed him, and directed him, "You must not take a wife from the Canaanite women and go to Paddan Aram."
Yeah.
Yeah, so by the end of this story, Isaac is in a position of being restored in relation to the promise.
Yes, in relation to the promise, and I betcha in relation to his wife.
Yep.
And I want to point out something interesting about New Testament interpretation of this Old Testament passage in Hebrews 11, verse 20, where it says, "By faith, Isaac invoked future blessings on Jacob and Esau," which is really interesting.
Which he doesn't give the Abrahamic blessing in when he's trying to do the trick.
Yep.
Yeah.
He blesses him a whole bunch of other ways. When Jacob heads out to Paddan Aram, Isaac does give him the Abrahamic blessing.
Yep. Be fruitful and multiply you.
And that Abrahamic blessing has to
Blessing of
do
Abraham.
with the blessing of the nations, and that'll include
Esau.
Esau.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
how Esau is included in that
He's
blessing.
blessed through Jacob.
Yeah.
He'll be blessed through Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Through your seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, including Moab.
Yep.
Because Moab comes from Esau, right?
Moab comes from one of the Lot,
Oh, yeah.
daughters of Lot.
Edom comes from
Edom comes
Yeah,
from
that's
yes.
right. Yeah.
So, and we get down into
Interesting.
so after Isaac sends Jacob away, right? Esau continues. Like Isaac has a bit of a repentance here.
Yeah.
Esau has nothing of a repentance. Esau just goes and he's angry and he
Goes and takes another
takes
wife.
another wife,
What a
a
guy.
Canaanite. So he goes to Ishmael. He's like, Uncle Ishmael.
Yeah.
So he gets Mahalath,
Yeah.
the daughter of Ishmael, Abram's son, the sister of Nebaioth.
Yes.
So he doubles down.
Okay. Esau, the present-oriented man,
Yeah.
rages about having been cheated out of his inheritance.
Yeah.
Again, casts blame on the righteous. But his rage is a small thing in the long run, right?
Yeah.
It's enough to cause Jacob to vacate that land. And as he's leaving, if you remember, when Jacob is leaving the land, God comes to him and speaks to him at Bethel and teaches him. He says to him, "I'm going to be with you wherever you go."
Yeah.
He says to Jacob, so you can go to Paddan Aram. Isaac didn't go to Paddan Aram. You can go, and I will go with you,
Yeah.
says the Lord to Jacob, as Jacob is on his way. But Esau, we're not shown anything about him until Jacob comes back,
Yeah.
and he approaches with 400 men. Sounds like a war party to me.
Yeah.
But Jacob sends ahead all these bribes, as it were,
Yeah.
pacifications,
Yeah.
sends them ahead. And by the time Esau gets to Jacob, they throw their arms around one another
Yeah.
and say, "Oh, I missed you.
Yeah.
Boy, it's been a long time."
Yeah. They have their reconciliation.
And they have this reconciliation. And the next thing we hear about Esau, after he's gone back to Seir, where he now lives, is him and Jacob burying Isaac together.
Yeah. Yeah. There is this great shift
Yeah.
in Isaac or in Esau.
In Esau,
Yep.
too.
Well, I see that we're at an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, we'd better Better save some of this for later, hey?
Yeah, we've got more of the book of Genesis yet to cover, and from thence unto Exodus.
It'll be about 10 more episodes.
Oh,
of
easily.
Genesis.
I mean, there's so much good stuff in here.
We intended to start out doing a flyover, and we are not very good at flying over. Our friend Jeremy,
He does a flyover.
he did a really, really good flyover.
Yes.
We've got that in our
Yeah.
in our lectures. It's really worth listening to.
Yeah, go back in our episodes, look for CCC lectures. Jeremy Gardner does a great flyover.
Yeah,
Yes.
a good flyover of Genesis. We're flying too close to the ground.
Yeah, nape of the
and
earth.
we keep getting caught by the tops of the trees and hindered.
Oh, we just love to smell the roses.
Yes, we do.
Man, the metaphors are rolling.
Exactly. Well, we love the book of Genesis. This is a wonderful, wonderful garden that God laid, in which He showed us a whole bunch of things. He laid down a whole bunch of patterns that we are to look at and learn from. We are to look at some of these characters, like Jacob, and learn from their faith. We're taught this in Hebrews, not from their unbelief, not from their whatever we want to attribute to Jacob. That's not what God sent us to Jacob for. We are to learn from his faith, and we need to be able to look at the things that he has done and look and see faith.
Yep.
If you cannot look at that story of the deception of Isaac, and if you cannot see faith in Jacob, I think you are missing what God has for you in this story.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot more going on in here than just learning from negative example. I don't think that's what God wants us to do with the patriarchs. I think He wants us to see their faith that we might imitate their faith. Mm-hmm. That makes good sense to me that we do.
Imitating those who through faith and patience inherit the promises, Hebrews 6.
That's what it says. All right. Well, we are here on the Chinook podcast. It's been a delight to have this conversation, and I hope that it's been a blessing and a help to you. Do hit that subscribe button, share this episode around, and we will talk to you again the next time.